Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina. I am an intuitive reader and we're back for another intuitive reading, and this one is for Zachary. Zachary, thank you for your patience. Yeah, we're going to do the Osho Zen Tarot cards today. And just sit back, breathe, relax, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I hope it supports. And yeah, if you have anything that you want to add after hearing this, I would love to hear from you, so you can comment or message me directly somewhere. I don't know. YouTube doesn't have direct messaging. They really should. Anyways, let's pull a card for you. Okay, Zachary. There's a lot of cards in this deck. It is a fatty. Okay, here we go. Oh, politics. Here's your card. Politics. Okay, so great card. I've had an interesting relationship with this card. It's been very pivotal in my process in my life the last decade. But okay, so I'll share the way that I experienced this card, but also there's another dimension that's coming up with it. But this card for me in my life and how it related to me was that it was very much, I had this constant kind of perpetual idea that I couldn't trust people. People were deceptive. People were, actually, no, sorry, scratch that. It was in relation to myself. I felt like I was this split, and I felt very much like I was this deceiving, deceptive, lying, manipulative, bad, evil person. Like, that's how I felt for a majority of my life, literally until last summer. So much so that I walked a process with self-forgiveness to forgive myself, to attempt to rid myself of the evil that I thought I was. Like, this is how I identified myself. And I felt like I was constantly putting up a fake face. I was like this false presentation of me. And I was like constantly trying to figure out, who am I really? Because I felt like what was hidden deep, buried within me was this evil, dark, bad person. And yet I often felt like stable and even optimistic and more, like on the positive side, and so there was always this conflict within me around that. Recently I realized that I'm not deceitful, I'm not deceitful, I'm not evil, I'm not this bad person that I believed myself to be. I'm actually pure to my core, like we all are. We're all born innocent. But I had this belief about myself for a long time. So this is what this card represented for me. So I'm not sure if that's something that you can relate to, but I feel like a lot of people do have that experience. Especially our history as humanity, like going way back, all the religious context that we've been embedded with, like this idea that we were born in sin. We were born, like there's something inherently bad or wrong with us. And it's like from that belief, from that accepted idea of that about ourselves, we've created a world that reflects that has this evil, bad aspect manifested, when it's like, is that really who we are? Or is that just a belief that we've held about ourselves? So what's coming up here is that point of like, are you holding on to some beliefs about yourself that you're bad, or you've done something wrong, or you deserve punishment, or you need to redeem yourself, or you need to prove yourself, because you truly don't. Like, from my perspective, everything was born of innocence. And yeah, we might have done things in our life that we're not proud of, and maybe even experience shame around, but there is always forgiveness, and we can always let that go and understand and learn from why it is we were like that. What is it? Where were we coming from? Why did we believe we had to do that? So I'm an advocate of forgiveness. I'm an advocate of understanding. I advocate for everyone has the ability to change, always. And I don't think anyone should have their past held against them. We all make mistakes. And those mistakes become truly precious gifts when we learn from them. So just a point to consider, if you're holding something against yourself for something you did in the past, find a way to let it go and forgive yourself and love yourself and care for yourself. And another thing that I used to do, and this is really helpful to like find that point of self-love again, is I would actually physically, literally in moments, hug myself and just be like, you know what, I got me, I'm here, I got me. And it really helped to ground myself, to like be like, I know that I can be someone that I can count on, and I can be someone that I need, and I can be that person for myself. And yes, while we can utilize the support of other people, ultimately, in the end, we're going to have to be that for ourselves. We're going to have to be that source of love and understanding and forgiveness. We're going to have to be that for ourselves. So maybe practice that. See how it feels to actually physically embrace yourself within that point of, I got me, I love me, I understand me, I embrace me, I forgive me, I understand I did what I had to do because I didn't know any better, and it was the best I could do at the time, you know, and just like really find a way to let that go. So that's the first point for this. The second point that I see here is, what was the second point that I saw? Well, I guess it's that point that comes up of like not being honest about what we're really experiencing and how we do maybe struggle sometimes, and we do have a hard time sometimes, and this idea that we have to put up this like pretty picture and this like front that like everything's good, it's all good, when truly it's okay to be like, you know what, shit is a fucking mess right now and I'm struggling and I'm having a hard time. You know, it's like acknowledging and facing and embracing the fuck up and the mess and the what's hidden deeper. You know, it's like you can't really change what is here until we really honestly face what is here. And the only way we can face that is by being honest with ourselves and being like, this is how I feel. When I quit smoking, that first month was so fucking hard, and I went through such rough experiences, but I allowed myself to feel it. And I think it was actually the second month where I was like, that's where I really allowed myself to feel what I needed to feel. Yeah, it was the second month of me quitting smoking. And it was this point of, I had used smoking to suppress myself for all those years. And so in stopping, by month 2, what was coming up was all this buried deep emotion and experiences that I had not yet processed or dealt with. And so what I did was I allowed it to fucking overcome me, and I allowed myself to cry, and I allowed myself to get angry, and I allowed myself to feel my feelings, to really feel what I was feeling, as a point of processing it, as a point of embracing it, as a point of facing it. So, you know, it's that point of like, there's nothing wrong with feeling what you feel, even lashing out if you need to, not at anyone in particular, but just with yourself, expressing what it is that you feel in a way that allows you to process it. Like sometimes you do have to physically do that, but knowing that it's a processing thing, it will pass. It's not going to be you forever. It's not who you are. You're not defined by that. You're processing what it is that you're now able to process, what you're now able to feel and understand and face. Whereas before, you know, it's almost like even that, we can't blame ourselves for suppressing things or burying things or not facing or addressing things in ourselves, because we did what we thought we had to do to survive. You know, we're all acting in survival. It's another aspect of really understanding, being able to understand why we have the world that we have and the feelings that we do and the relationships that we have, is because we're all doing what we know to do in survival. Survival puts us in a position of fear, and fear creates things to be fearful of, and it creates, you know, a distorted view and reality of who we really are. So we have to remove the fear to really see ourselves for real. But in the meantime, it's like we have to face those fears. We have to face those feelings that we've created in survival. So it's that point also of like making sure that you're acknowledging what it is that you are truly feeling, and like give it space within yourself to like see it and to understand it, and look at where did it come from, and why do I feel this way, and what do I need from this, you know. Yeah, so it's just that point of like being self-honest about what it is we feel, and not feel like we have to hide or be ashamed of what we feel on the inside. Like it's that point of just like having forgiveness always present within us, that we created what we created based in survival, and we didn't know any better, and we did what we knew to do according to what we thought was best in the moment. Now we're learning, now we're opening up, now we're realizing there's more, and we can do more, and we can understand more, and we can express more. And so now is our opportunity to do more and to support ourselves more, to expand. Yeah, so that's what I see for this. I'll read the book definition so we just have a little further explanation, but hope that resonates so far. Okay, so the book definition says, do you recognize this man? All but the most innocent and sincere of us have a politician lurking somewhere in our minds. In fact, the mind is political. Its very nature is to plan and scheme and try to manipulate situations and people so that it can get what it wants. Here the mind is represented by the snake covered with clouds and speaking with a forked tongue. But the important thing to realize about this card is that both the faces are false. The sweet, innocent, trust me face is a mask, and the evil, toxic, I'll have my way with you face is a mask too. Politicians don't have real faces. The whole game is a lie. Take a good look at yourself to see if you have been playing this game. What you see might be painful, but not as painful as continuing to play. It doesn't serve anybody's interest in the end, least of all yours. Whatever you might achieve in this way will just turn to dust in your hands. Anybody who can be a good pretender, a hypocrite, will become your leader politically, will become your priest religiously. All that he needs is hypocrisy. All that he needs is cunningness. All that he needs is a facade to hide behind. Your politicians live double lives. Your priests live double lives. One from the front door, the other from the back door. And the back door life is their real life. Those front door smiles are just false. Those faces looking so innocent are just cultivated. If you want to see the reality of the politician, you will have to see him from his back door. There he is in his nudity, as he is, and so is the priest. These two kinds of cunning people have dominated humanity, and they found out very clearly on that if you want to dominate humanity, make it weak, make it feel guilty, make it feel unworthy. Destroy its dignity, take all glory away from it, humiliate it. And they have found such subtle ways of humiliation that they don't come in the picture at all. They leave it to you to humiliate yourself, to destroy yourself. They have taught you a kind of slow suicide. So I like that he mentions the point about the mind, because this is where it can get tricky. There is, like, you have two inner realities where you have like your core beingness and who you are. And then you have the mind where there's a lot of like talking and chatting with you. And the mind, like this book says, is political. That's where you have the judgments, the blame, the reactions, where you feel diminished or you feel like you are diminishing another person. The mind is where there's conflict and chaos, and the mind likes to take you on rampant ideas and just like you fly away, and it's like you're out of reality. You're not seeing reality for what it really is. So it's important to also to ground in the body and step out of the mind where it is political, where it is split, where it's polarized, where there's this right and wrong morality, there's judgment, there's shame, there's, it's like where we go to define ourselves, but it's always in limitation. Our definitions are always in limitation because it's always in separation. We don't really see ourselves fully from the mind. So it's important to get rooted into your body, because that is also where you're going to be able to tap into that suppressed emotion and energy and things that need to be processed, that need to be dealt with and faced, to be able to let go of, so that those are no longer consciously or unconsciously directing your life. So yeah, it's just that point of like, find ways to ground yourself, to root into your body, to get out of your mind, because the mind is where we feel like we're losing control. The mind is where we get overwhelmed. The mind is where we feel like we've lost touch with reality, and the mind makes us fear. The mind is fear. The mind is where we go and we worry about things that we have no control over. So it's that point of like getting out of the mind and just getting in the present moment in your body with your breathing. Practice that as much as you can, and doing things that are going to support you to just like get more physically in your body focused. I think that would really support. So hope that resonates. If you have any questions or want further perspective or have anything to share on this, definitely let me know. You can comment in the section if you want. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for being open to me reading you, Zachary. Amazing reading. Really cool practical support here. So I appreciate you very much. And for your support on my channel. It's been amazing. And I look forward to hearing more of your poetry. So thanks again. Take care. See you soon.